Hello, this is video number 1 in a series of 3 videos about how you can make more money in property than you are currently making. And in this first video, I'm going to share with you why now is the perfect time for you to start investing in property. If you've been thinking about investing but haven't quite done it yet, watch this video and listen very carefully, because the next 6 to 12 months is a massive opportunity for you to get into property and seriously increase your income. Now, I'm sure you watch lots of videos about how to successfully invest in property, but this video has got a couple of key differences for 2 reasons. First of all, I've been investing in property for almost 30 years. I've been teaching people like you how to be successfully investing in property for the last 2 decades. So I've been investing longer than any other trainer currently in the market. I've seen the market go up and down, and I know exactly what you need to do in these current market conditions. Secondly, I set up something called the Property Investors Network back in 2003. It's the largest network all over the UK for property investors to help them become more successful. And I have my ear to the ground at 50 locations all around the UK. I know exactly what's happening at a grassroots level before anybody else. And some of that information I'm sharing in this video with you right now. So listen carefully, because as I say, the next 6 to 12 months is going to be an incredible buying opportunity. So why do I say that? Well, right now we're in what's called a buyer's market. That means there are more sellers than there are buyers. And that means that sellers are more flexible on the price and the terms they'll agree. So in other words, we can get better deals. Now, why is it this buyer's market? Normally, we have a seller's market. That means there are more buyers than sellers. And that's why generally prices in the UK go up. That's because we live on an island that's a very popular place to live. We have an increasing population and not enough accommodation. Now, both political parties agree that we need 300,000 new homes every year, but we're just not building enough. We're building 200,000, if that. So this is why generally property prices and also rents go up over time. But right now, that's not the case. That's why this is an incredible opportunity. Plus, there's massive uncertainty in the property market right now. So not only is it a buyer's market, most people who are interested in investing in property are sitting back, waiting to see what happens because of a number of factors. So let me explain what's influencing the market at the moment. So the big one, of course, you're very aware of is interest rates. Interest rates at the beginning of 2022 started to go up, and they reached a peak of 5.25%, the Bank of England base rate, and they've remained there for the best part of 6 months. Now, despite inflation coming down, we've seen the base rate remain the same, because the Bank of England uses the base rate to control inflation. So they put it up to bring inflation down. That's definitely worked. As I film this video, inflation is 2.3% officially, so it's only slightly above the 2% target of the Bank of England base rate. But the Bank of England hasn't brought the rates down yet. Now, I wonder why that is. Maybe they think inflation is actually more than 2.3%. Certainly, I think it's more than that. If you think it is, just comment below, let me know what you think. But I think inflation, cost of living, is much more than 2.3%. However, and this is the next bit of uncertainty, we're just about to have a general election. On the 4th of July, we're going to have a general election, and we might well see a new government coming in. I'll talk about that impact in just a moment. So I wonder if on the 20th of June, when we get the next meeting of the monetary policy of the Bank of England, I wonder if rates might come down, maybe because inflation is very close to the 2% target, but maybe also for political reasons as well. So we're very interesting to see what happens. So let's talk a little bit about this election. So nobody knows what's going to happen. We've had Tory ruling the country for a number of years. And I must say, I'm sure you'd agree that the Tories, the Conservatives, have not exactly been very landlord friendly. They brought in things like Section 24, which was a change to the way that we as property investors are taxed. What it means is if you used to own property in your own name, which was the best way to do it, and if you have a mortgage and you're a high rate taxpayer, then you're paying a lot more tax on your property income. Now, this has caused many landlords decide to retire and sell up their properties. We've seen this trend over the last few years, and that's because there's been other legislation coming in, and also some landlords who are just not making as much money as they used to because they own the property in their own name are thinking, hey, I've had amazing capital growth for the last 12, 14 years. Maybe I should cash in some of these properties and put my investments elsewhere. So we are seeing lots of landlords leaving the market. Now, this has put a pressure on the supply of accommodations is going down, which is one of the reasons we've seen rents massively shoot up over the last couple of years. In fact, the Office of National Statistics shared in March 2024, the year up to that point, the average rent increased by 9.2% in the UK. So rents are going up because landlords are leaving. Now, in any market, you always have some people entering the market and some people exiting the market. It just happens we have more people exiting now than ever before. So if all these people are leaving, is it still a good time to invest? Well, yes. I mean, obviously, if you did it 20, 30 years ago, that might have been better. But if you're getting going now, or even if you've got property thinking, what should you do? When other people are leaving, this is a great opportunity to pick up some really good property deals, particularly in this buyer's market. And with the uncertainty about the general election, a lot of people are concerned if Labour get in, what will they do? Will they bring in rent caps and things like that? Will they be even less favourable to landlords than the Conservatives have been? Probably they will. So for the next 6 to 12 months, once the elections happened, if Labour do get in, many people are going to be panicking about what policies they might bring in, and there'll be even more landlords looking to sell and get out the business. Now, some people say that the Labour want to get rid of all private landlords, and they might want to do that, but that would be pretty foolish. I'm not sure they do really want to do that, because private landlords provide a lot of accommodation for people who just cannot afford to buy their own home. If there weren't private landlords, rents would be even higher, very unaffordable. And also some of the things like rent caps that Labour have been talking about, they've done it up in Scotland and it was completely disastrous. So we don't know what's going to happen. And I don't think there's any point worrying about what's going to happen until it actually comes in as law. But the point is, it's all about the uncertainty. This uncertainty is going to cause a lot of people to want to get out of the market. They're going to want to sell, and they're going to be more flexible in the price and the terms of that sale. And this is the opportunity for you. But it's only going to be 6 to 12 months. So that's what you need to understand. This is the time to take action, go and find some great deals. Now, the next thing you want to think about is, well, what makes a great deal? And obviously we all have different criteria. My idea of a good deal might be different from your idea of a good deal. But there are certain things that good deals have in common. So you might want to write these down, because if you know how to find good deals, guess what? You will always be able to have ways of funding those. Because if it is a good deal, I mean a profitable deal, there are lots of people out there who have money, but they don't have the time, the energy, or inclination to find great deals on their own. So the most important skill you can learn to be a successful property investor is how to find really good property deals. So what makes a great property deal? Well, first of all, if we can, we want to buy a property below market value. So market value is the average value for that type of property in the area. So let's say a property is maybe £288,000. That's about the average in the UK at the moment. If we could buy a property that's worth that, and its comparables show that's what it's worth, but for less than that, and maybe it's say 250 or 240, we're getting 40 or 50,000 pounds of equity in that property from day one. So that's pretty good, because A, it protects you if the market comes down, but also if you want to refinance and take your money out, it means you can do it much, much quicker. So buying properties at a discount, getting equity on day one, if we can do that, that's a really good thing. By the way, sometimes we do buy properties at full price. We might even pay slightly over the asking price if we know it's already been priced competitively, and if we know we can add value to that property to further enhance the value and thus recycle our deposit even quicker. That's called momentum investing, and I'm going to share more about that in our third video of this 3-video series. So back to what makes a good deal. So as I said, if we can buy at a discount, that's a good start. The next thing is we want to make sure that we can rent that property out. There's got to be strong rental demand in that area, so we know if the current tenants move, we can quickly and easily put other tenants in to have a great cash flow. So really strong rental demand, and the good news is if you have a good property in the right area, there's lots of tenants who want to rent that property right now here in the UK. Number 3, we must make good cash flow from that. And you might recognize some of these things. These are very similar to my golden rules of property investing. They're in my book, Property Magic, which is an Amazon bestseller, over 100,000 copies in the circulation. If you haven't read it, you definitely want to go and read Property Magic, or listen to the audio version on Audible. So golden rule number 3 is we want to make sure there's cash flow. This property must make profit for us every single month. Otherwise, it's not a good investment. Now, sometimes people buy properties because they hope it's going to go up in value over time. And that is the general trend in the UK. Property prices go up because, as I said earlier, we live on this island with a limited amount of accommodation and an increasing population. However, prices might not go up, or they might not go up as fast as you want. So that's why we must make cash flow every single month from the deal. Otherwise, in my mind, it's not a good deal. The next thing is, what makes a good deal? I like to buy properties where I can add value. If you buy a brand new property, there's nothing you can do to add the value. I like to buy an older property where maybe we can put a new kitchen in, new bathroom, put new carpets, decorate, and suddenly we've enhanced the property, maybe add an extra room by just putting up a stud wall, and suddenly we've added value to the property so we can recycle our deposit much quicker. The next thing is, I like deals where it's low or no money down. There are some strategies where you don't have to put in a 25% deposit. And those are really powerful because it means anybody, when they got the right knowledge, can successfully invest in property. And finally, we like deals where there's a high return on investment. This is how we compare one property with another property. We look at the first one and say, okay, how much money do we need to put into that? How much profit is it going to generate each year? And we look at that as a percentage to calculate the return on investment. So when we're buying property, it shouldn't be an emotional decision, oh, I like this and I prefer that one. It should be all about the numbers. It's all about the numbers. We do our due diligence and research to make sure it's a great deal and we find a really good investment. And here's the point. At some point, everybody runs out of their own money. You might have lots of money to use to invest. It might be money in the bank, it might be redundancy money, it might be money from an insurance claim or divorce or whatever it might be. Or maybe you don't have much cash. You might have some equity in your home you could use. Or maybe you've got money in a pension you could use. So there are all sorts of ways of funding your property deals. But at some point, everybody runs out of their own money. But if you get really good at finding great property deals that are very profitable, it means there's enough profit in there for you and also for someone else, which means you could find someone who might come in as a joint venture partner where you go into business together, or maybe as a private lender, they just lend you the money, they get a great return on the money. This means you can use other people's money. And why would other people lend money to you? Well, it's because you're helping them to make money. You're not asking for a handout, you're giving them an opportunity to make money. But it all comes back to finding great deals in the first place. And with the current buyer's market, this is the opportunity. I promise you, once the election's over and things are settled down 6 to 9 months on, I believe the property market will start to come back and start to go up again. And when the market's going up, there are deals to be had, no matter what's happening in the market, but they're harder to find. And you also have lots of competition. Whereas right now, there's not a lot of competition because most people are sitting back and waiting to see what happens. And there's lots of people who need to sell property. Thus, there are some great deals to be done right now. So time is of the essence. Now, when you're looking for great deals, there's a secret that I want to share with you. It's something I'm going to tell you in my next video, video number 2. And it's something that took me 11 years to learn. I was going out, I was working with estate agents, I was going to auctions, but I didn't know this secret until I met someone at one of my network meetings and I learned about this incredible way to buy property that means you save tens of thousands of pounds off every single property. And at the time, we could structure deals in a creative way that meant we could buy property literally no money down. And in a space of about 6 months, I doubled the size of my portfolio and added an extra £50,000 of profit every single year. And I'm going to share that secret with you in the next video. So if you've liked this video, comment below. I'd love to hear your feedback and look out for video number 2, which is going to come out very, very soon. As well as liking the video, why not subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit the bell icon to make sure you're notified about future videos. And as I said, this is actually video number 1 of a 3-part series. If you'd like to get part 2 and part 3, and part 2 is about how to actually buy incredible deals at a hugely discounted rate. I'm not going to make it available publicly on my YouTube channel. I'm only going to give it to people who request the information. So click on the link below and come and get access to those 3 online training videos. You've just seen video number 1. Hope you got value from this. I'd like to give you video 2 and number 3. Just click on the link below, come and subscribe, and we'll send you those videos as soon as they're ready. So as ever, I encourage you to invest with knowledge, invest with skill. Enjoy the next video we've lined up for you.